Hello, everybody. I'm Ricky Smith, and this is Faith on Friday Presents. At Faith on Friday Presents, we're all about highlighting, inspiring people, engaging topics, and small businesses. And don't forget, while you're here, to subscribe, like, and share our content with your network. Okay, so podcasts. You've seen them. Everyone has them. You've heard them. You have probably thought of starting one on your own. But have you thought about being a guest on a podcast? What does that look like? How does that happen? Who do you get in touch with? And where do you start? Well, I'm here to help you today. My guest this is literally what she does. She helps people get onto other podcasts. I'm going to let her tell you about it. Everybody, please say hello to Noemi Beres. Hi, Noemi. How are you?
Hi, Ricky. Thank you so much for having me on your show today. I'm so excited.
I am thrilled that you are here for so many reasons. First of all, tell everybody where you are, Noemi. That's so cool already.
I live in Cyprus, Europe. So I think 7, 8 hours ahead of you. So yeah.
So thank you, girl, for staying up. I appreciate you so much. So, Noemi, you heard in the intro, we're talking about podcasts and being a guest on a podcast. Can you tell us a little bit about what it is that you do?
I am the co-owner of a company called Podcast Connections, and I help entrepreneurs to share their knowledge and basically enriching people's life through connections. That's what I do in the US, Canada, UK, because most of my clients come from those countries. And the podcasts I work with, they are from those countries too. So basically, I operate a PR agency, which solely focusing on podcast interviews. We try to find, not try, but we find the best mix and match in the podcast and the client for each other. It's like a matchmaking opportunity, but when it comes to podcasting.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, I got it. I think that is so cool because, like you heard in the intro, everybody's doing a podcast. And podcasters, even myself, what I do is considered a podcast, even though it's video and it's a show on YouTube. We're always looking for guests. And it's so funny. People have knowledge and wisdom and expertise that they can share, but for some reason, they don't know how to find a podcast to be on. So, Noemi, as you explained that your clients, you're looking for ways to get people onto podcasts. How do you go about doing that? Because you said it's like matchmaking for podcasts.
Absolutely. I mean, first of all, you have to do your research and you have to do your homework. You have to find your niche. What kind of podcast you want to be on, you have to figure out. And your best friend, iTunes, Spotify, get on those platforms and check out a couple of podcasts that are similar, to your topics and to your talking points, and try to just listen to a couple of episodes and have fun with them and try to check the host's vibe, what the podcast is all about. Then that's very first, and that's the first and most important thing. Try to find your niche and figure out what you want to do, what you want to talk about.
Right. So if somebody calls you and says, Noemi, I really want to be on a podcast, what kind of things will you be asking that individual?
First of all, as I said, figure out what you want to talk about. You need to have a couple of topics, like at least 3 topics that are unique and that are appealing to the podcast host, so we can sell you to those podcasts, because that's kind of like pitching. It's not a nice word, but we still do that, like to still pitch you. Then you have to have your bio ready or one sheet ready. That's very important. That should include all the important information about you, like a one sheet, a bio, a great headshot, as I said, topics with talking points, previous podcast appearances, or live. If you had in-person speaking opportunities, you can include those there too. Obviously, your website, your social links, those are all very important. So you can include that on your one sheet. And we always tell them, don't wing it. You have to prepare. You always have to listen to a couple of podcast episodes, 1 or 2 episodes, to feel the host and the show's vibe. It's really important. And to figure out what the shows are all about. So these are the first steps that you have to take before you can go on a podcast.
I mean, and you think about stuff like that. You're like, everybody's like, I want to be on a podcast because I have so much to share. But I like what you said, be prepared. That is so huge because a lot of people who think, well, what I know, I just know, and I can just get on and just do my thing. Now, you and I met each other through some different networking events that we hang out together on. And one of the things that you did, which I thought is so phenomenal, and any podcaster would love, you asked me, hey, Ricky, what does it take to be on your podcast? I thought that was absolutely incredible. How important is it to just ask the question?
So true, so true. I usually, when I want to get on a podcast, or I want my client to get on a good podcast, we reach out to the host, maybe by email, maybe on LinkedIn, or different social media platforms, and you just tell them, like, you listen to a couple of episodes, what you liked about their podcast, and can we just talk? Can we have a chat? Can we get in touch with you? And I would say like 80% of the time, people will say yes if you want to talk to them. So, I mean, we're all human. The podcast hosts are people and human too. So we just, two people having a great conversation. So they open to that.
Yeah, I think that is so great. So, Noemi, how did you get into this? Did you wake up one day and go, I know, I'm going to move to Cyprus and I'm going to start pitching people for podcasts? How did you get
No.
into it?
Yeah, like that would be another podcast interview probably
Yes.
if I tell you the whole story. But in a nutshell, together with my husband, we lived in many different countries. I was born and raised in Hungary, then moved to Ireland, lived there for 7 years, then moved to Cyprus, and we always had different online businesses along the way. But this particular business started in 2020, and no, it wasn't my dream, and I didn't wake up one morning that, yes, I want to be a podcast agent. It didn't happen like that. It was basically because of COVID. I always call it like a COVID business, and we had an online travel-related business which stopped at the same time when COVID started, and we had to pivot. We had to start something else, figure out how to pay the bills. I mean, that was it. I mean, there was nothing, like fairy tale about it. So luckily we had an Irish mentor, and he advised us to start something in podcasting, because it was booming, especially at the beginning of 2020. As you said, everyone had or wanted to have a podcast. So guys, if you want to make some money, if you want to get into the podcasting business, do it now. It's a good time to start. So that's what we did in 2020. Yeah, and the rest is history.
Yeah, I love that. And the rest is history. So in all the countries and things that you moved around in, I'm like, you're not on the witness protection program, are you? No one's looking for you, Noemi, are they?
No, luckily not. I'm fine.
Okay. Whew, just want to make sure. So, like you said earlier, folks, everyone's looking at and starting podcasts and things. Is it still a viable option? Is there still room for more podcasts to get started now?
I think yes. I mean, you never have enough podcasts in the world. I mean, there are about like 4.35 million right now, and still counting. So it's a lot. And I just had a call with another Polkadot member lady just before, and she asked me, so what's the future of the podcast? It's like, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball to tell you that. But what I can see, it's still booming and it's still going strong. I don't know what will happen in the future, but it looks like a great industry. And personally, I prefer to TV shows, or I prefer to radio shows. So I think it has a very bright future ahead of it.
I mean, I'm grateful for it because we've been doing this for, gosh, almost 7 years.
Wow.
I guess we were doing it before it was cool, that kind of things. I don't know, but here we still are. And it's so fun because of guests like you. So those of us who are podcasters and YouTube show hosts and things, looking for our guests can be tough. Who are your clients? Who comes to you and tells you, I want to be a podcast star? Who are these people?
Anyone basically who has an established business, who wants to share their message, who wants to share their personal story, which can be like sad, good, anything that they went through. And it's important to share your story. I work with LinkedIn experts, real leadership coaches, healers, you name it, it's like realtors. So it's like it's a wide spectrum of clients I work with. But I'm happy to work with anyone who has a very good story to share and important information to share with the world, and knowledge, most importantly.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are looking for the same folks that I'm looking for. Because
Yeah.
at the beginning of our show, we say the same thing. We're looking for people who are inspiring, who have a topic we have to talk about, or even a small business. Because, like you said, everyone has a message. And hey, if you've got a platform where somebody can share it, get on there. I mean, I love that in and of itself. So now, Noemi, do you have a podcast yourself?
Not yet. I'm planning to have one, hopefully in the future, fingers crossed. Not right now, but I would love to have one for sure.
And that's surprising to me because you interview podcast guests for people with podcasts and you don't have one yourself.
Not yet. No, it's just the time issue that I'm
Get
having.
your life together, Noemi. Oh my God, we're probably waiting. You're probably going to have the best guests ever because you get them all first. They all come to you first. But that is so good. So if somebody wanted to start a podcast and they said, you know what, I want to get one started. What do I need? Because you see some podcasters and they have like all the best equipment and it's in this great studio and blah 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 blah. What do you tell somebody who says I want to get started? Where do I begin?
For me, when I'm listening to a podcast, is the active listening. So when you're a podcast host, that like you listen to what your guest says and you actively listening to them and understand what they're saying, and you just lead the conversation that way. I mean, that's, I think, the most important part. And I love the free flow conversation. So you don't have any pre-written questions, like you don't have them either. So we just, just talking like two friends, and these are the best conversations ever. So obviously you need to have a structure, you need to have a system in place, and you need to have people who will help you to edit those podcasts, to help you with everything. But I think the core and most important stuff is that you just need to listen to people and interact with them and just have fun.
Just have fun, just chat. And
Just
you're
chat.
right. We don't have pre questions. We don't send out, hey, these are the questions. Because like I tell most of my guests, and like I told you, this is not Jeopardy. You literally know all the answers to every question I'm going to ask.
Yeah,
And it
absolutely.
does, it makes it easier, it makes it more fun. And I think that people that are watching and listening enjoy it better too. It doesn't sound canned. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand that. Absolutely.
So, Noemi, let me ask you. So, somebody comes to you and they themselves may not be ready. I don't really have great topics, but I'm super interesting and there's so much I want to share. What do you tell those folks? I'm like, sweetie, thank you for coming, but I can't play with you. What do you do with that?
No, I mean, we work with very well seasoned keynote speakers, but we also work with people who are just starting out, doing interviews. And what is important that we help them along the way. We have a one-on-one coaching with them at the beginning. And so we can help them to develop those topics, those talking points, help them to create their first one sheet, because maybe they haven't even heard about it. Like, what's the one sheet? What is a one pager? They have no idea. Then we tell them, we try to prepare them for the interviews. We even make, we can do a mock interview with them, so see how it goes and how they react to different questions. Just practice before you go on your first interview. But I think anyone can do interviews if you prepare and you do it consistently. Obviously, your first interview is not your best one. I remember my first one, and I remember the podcast host, and he gave me those questions, and I was just sitting there, it's like, oh my gosh, bro, he was great, and I really like his podcast. He was pretty good, but it wasn't easy for me.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm not a native speaker, so for me it was a bit like tough, but I'm getting there.
No, you do really great. And I really appreciate you being here. I think it's great that you all do coaching as well for folks. Because some people, like you said, they have an amazing message, but they have crap presence, if you will. Yeah, but y'all, it's me anyway. But and like you said, you remember your first interview. I remember my first interview. Yeah, I'm scared that it's out there somewhere, but Don't go looking for it. Let's just suffice it to say.
I will.
Do not do that to me. Don't do it, girl. I'm telling you. So, Noemi, I appreciate you being here. If somebody wanted to learn more about you or to work with you, where can they find you?
Please visit our website, which is www.podcastconnections.co. So it's connections with an S, plural, and co, not com. And you can also find me on LinkedIn. I'm always there. Sad life. It's true. If you type my name in, Noemi Beres, you will find me.
Okay, y'all, please reach out. If you are out there and you have an amazing topic, a rock star story, or a small business that needs to be highlighted, you probably really want to get in touch with her to get that message out there. And also, hit me up. I need to talk to you as well. Because while you're here, we want you to like, subscribe, and share our content with your network. We want everybody to know what we got going on over here. Noemi, my friend, before I let you go, you know we have to play our game, girl, because you've already listened to this podcast.
Yes, I did.
All right. So this game is called This or That. I'm going to give you the choice of a couple of things. And you, my friend, just tell me which one you like the best. Are you ready to play?
Yes.
You are. Trust me. Let's do this. All right, no, ma'am. Here we go. I don't know how this will play in Cyprus. Grits or oatmeal?
Oatmeal.
Okay. Did you pick oatmeal because you don't know what grits are?
Yes.
I wondered. It is so funny. We had somebody on here from England, and she did the same thing. She didn't know what grits were. So we'll talk later. We're going to talk
Okay,
tell you
yeah.
about that. Okay.
Please enlighten me about
All right. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Water park or amusement park?
None of them. But if I have to choose, if I really have to choose, I would go for amusement park. Yeah.
Okay, why
yeah.
not either one? You don't have to choose. This is your choice. Do you not like water parks or amusement parks? Huh?
No, I don't like water parks. There's too many people sitting in the same pool, and that's
like
not good. I just prefer my own pool or the sea or the ocean. That's it. Amusement park, yeah, I used to like them when I was a kid, not anymore.
That is so funny. Oh, you're cracking me up. Okay, planner or make it up as you go?
Oh, planner.
Dressing up or dressing down?
Dressing up.
Morning person or night owl?
Morning. Or now it looks like I'm both because I work too much. So it's because of my American clients, like from in the morning until late night. But if I would say it's like I'm a morning person. Yeah.
Okay, you really are, because you are such a joy and you're so much light in the morning. Okay, how about small groups or large crowds?
Depends. If about like getting together with friends, it's small groups, but I love going on like big concerts and these, yeah. So I love large groups too. So I love both.
Okay. All right. Slow dancing or shake that thing?
Both.
Oh. I'm gonna have to get you off the tables, Noemi. Is it like that? It's like, Noemi, girl, get like that. That's awesome. And finally, Noemi, what would you tell someone about you that you think they should know?
I'm an artist, and I really love making collages, like collages on canvas, hand-sewn collages, digital on paper ones. And I also love drumming. Maybe they don't know it about me. So I have a frame drum.
Drumming?
Yeah, drumming. Yeah, that's my stress relief method. It's like I have a hand pen. I have a frame drum, a tongue drum. So when I'm stressed and I need to get,